What's up, everybody? Zach here with Eat Sleep Anime, and I'm joined along with the number one hero, Derek Daniel. Derek,
what's up, my man?
I'm excited. We are today ranking every season of My Hero Academia that is out in preparation for the latest season dropping this weekend. I'm so excited.
Saturday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
We're getting some Star Wars. We're getting some My Hero Academia. I'm excited for this. 6 seasons, which means we got to dive in. We got to see what's going to rank the best, what's going to rank the worst. So let's jump into it.
Yes.
So S tier, top, all the way down to D tier. We've watched all of these.
Yeah.
Derek, I'm gonna let you kind of set the scene, put the groundwork here. You know,
okay.
Be my Gran Torino. You know,
okay.
Be my
there
Gran Torino here.
I need my cane real quick.
Oh, you don't need no cane, boy.
I got my jet boots ready. So how do we want to do this? Just do we want to go by season, or do we want to start off what's S tier down to D tier?
I think go by season. So let's start with season 1. Kind of, get by everybody a little quick hit on it, and then we can discuss where we're wanting to rank it.
So season 1 is the beginning. It's got the introduction to where Deku comes in. We learn about all the cast of characters, and then the first major incident is the USJ incident, like those last 4 episodes, which is where, because for people who haven't heard the story, I almost gave up on My Hero Academia season 1 because it was so slow. Nothing was like intriguing my interest. And then the USJ incident happens. And okay, I can see why people like this, enjoy the show. Let me give it a shot. Go on to season 2. So, but because of that, my personal preference, I have to put it at the D tier.
Really?
Just because because 4 episodes out of the main season out of the first whole season does not make up for it being just lackluster to me. So that has to be my D tier. Someone has to be at the bottom.
I don't know if I agree with it because it sets up the whole show, and I know it was a lot slower and everything, but those emotional moments where All Might is talking to Deku and is I'm choosing you, young man. Those moments, I'm over here, I'm getting chills. And then the whole Deku taking on the big robot thing in the trials and all of that. There were a lot of good moments. It was slower, it wasn't a lot of pomp and circumstances, but it did let you kind of breathe with the characters a little bit.
Right.
Because later seasons, we definitely don't get that. I don't think this is the worst season, though.
Okay, I'm interested to see I think I know which one is the worst season for you, but we'll get there.
Yeah, so Derek is saying D. I'm saying I wouldn't put it at B, but I would put it at C. I
flirted with C or D, but I chose D.
Okay, we're putting season 1. Y'all let us know what y'all think. Are we crazy putting season 1 of My Hero at a C tier? All right, season 2, Derek, what we got going on here?
So this was the one where we have the UA Sports Festival for the first half, and then the hero killer Stain. We're introduced to Stain for the first time in the second half of the season. Very much emotional moments, like you were saying, with the sports festival arc. You're seeing Deku trying to prove himself and be hey, I need to evolve my powers. I need to get stronger. I need to prove why All Might is choosing me to do this. Meanwhile, you have the other cast of characters trying to do the same thing, not because All Might chose them, but they're trying to find their place in the world. And then you have an emotional moment with Stain that it hits close to home with one of the characters, and you see that play out. And then, of course, they're doing the internships. You're seeing how all that plays out in that moderation. I also flirted between 2 different tiers with this. I would almost go C tier with this one, but it would be a low B for me.
What are you talking about, Derek?
It's building to this moment, sir.
Oh my God. I feel like you've been smoking the reefer or something over here. Season 2 is so strong.
It is. But again, after the Stain, because the Stain, the first half is so good, and then Stain only stays around for 3-4 episodes maybe, and then the rest of it I don't remember.
True. I will agree with that, but the stuff that's there, it's super strong. The whole, tournament thing was just so well done. reminding me of like Dragon Ball back in the day where they would do the
True.
World Martial Arts Tournament and everything. The Stain stuff is really, really good, and
Yeah.
you're getting to see Todoroki and Endeavor, like their
Oh
relationship
yeah, that's
kind of
true too.
juxtaposed against Deku and All Might's relationship, and
Hmm.
they're not even father and son. Like
True.
it's very good. Like the writing is definitely picking up here, and we also get to see the League of Villains, how Shigaraki is like using Stain. Like Shigaraki isn't
Yeah.
just this snotty kid, like because the first time I really hated Shigaraki
Oh
for
yeah,
the
he was a
longest.
brat.
Yeah, and then it's like you start seeing that he's like actually understanding the assignment. He's understanding, and we get the hint of All for One.
True.
We get a little hint of All for One, and you know, so where were
You,
you wanting to put this?
you know what? You convinced me. I'm gonna put this at B.
B. Oh man, that's still too low for me.
Whatever. I think
I,
you're overestimating it because look at what we got left, my guy. But go ahead.
I agree. Like we can have a ton on S tier. That's fine. But you over here just dogging them hard. I'll go with B tier. For me, it's a high B, a low A, for my opinion. All right, season 3. Let's get into it, Derek. Set the stage.
So this was my favorite season for the longest because of the first half. Like, because with this one, we've got the hero training, like in the forest arc, and then you're rescuing Bakugo from something, and then they go to the UA provisional hero license exam arc. So this one was a solid season throughout. This is what actually made me fall in love with My Hero and actually fall in with the magic of what made it special, because the stakes were higher in this season, at least in the first half. Like, it was some serious stuff. Like, you see Bakugo question himself. You see Deku just like wallowing and like how did he let this happen? You see All Might and All for One's epic fight in that part.
Mm-hmm.
And then even though the provisional was like kind of fell off, and that made me like felt like it was like rising, like it was like the hype was all that, and then it kind of like teetered off or just like cooled down, simmered down with that season. It was still intense because Deku's using more of his mind in this one, and he has to be like, I can't just rely on my powers. I have to be a smarter hero and know when to use my powers, and like learn how to work in combination and face all the tests. So because of that one, like that was, for the longest time, it was my favorite season, top to bottom, just because it was solid all the way through. So for that reason, I have to put it at a it's going S tier.
Okay, I was about to say we can have multiple, and then we can rank them within their tiers. Who's the best and everything. I would agree. Season 3 is definitely the best showing out of these earlier seasons. The training and everything got a little tiresome. Like,
right.
I feel like
because they were training every season, you know what I mean?
Training every season and everything, but the stakes where the League of Villains show up at the training site and they're all split up, and you're seeing all these different villains, and some of them are expendable.
This is when the League, you take the League seriously.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to Stain bringing people into the League and everything. We get to see Dobby, all of that kind of stuff within
Toga
this.
twice.
Yeah. And it really sets the stage. And again, the All Might fight with All for One. Oh my gosh. Just bang up. Awesome. And then You're Next.
Oh, yeah.
So good. And I agree with like the provisional license and everything. It did it wasn't like the stakes weren't as high, but it was still interesting because we're getting to see all of these different heroes, everyone trying to be a hero from different schools and everything. So I like that, but yeah, it was very interesting. And then Toga being in there, definitely
that was a big twist, because it's like you see this girl from another school just being like all of a sudden like very overly flirtatious, weird, and all that. Then you understand and like,
yeah,
what does this play out? How is this going to play out? And then you see later on.
Yeah, so good. All right, I agree. That's an S tier. The first time me and Derek has actually agreed on the season so far. All right, season 4.
So this is the one where we get introduced to Overhaul arc. Without, you could argue that the stakes were just as high as the first as the Bakugo retrieval arc in this one. Like the stakes were high, and the severity, like all the stakes that happen in this one. But we also get the Gentle Criminal arc, which definitely like hurts it so much. Like
Yeah.
I get the overall message that they were trying to do because of how Overhaul ended, like with Eri trying to get her to be like be more open, be more like happier and everything. Like I get that, but it just fell flat with the action with the because again, you see Overhaul, like you see Deku struggling and you understand it, but then you get Mr. Gentle Criminal and you're like, this would be cannon fodder for All Might. Like, come on, guys. Like this wouldn't even be worth All Might's time. But the overall arc was so serious. Like we get to see the big three from UA, Mirio, Nejire, and Amajiki. And Amajiki, like once he puts his mind to it, he's a baller. Nejire is pretty good too. Like we see her more showcased in season 6, but in this one she was kind of held back. But Mirio was a star. Like that whole fight with Overhaul, and like something happened, and he still was throwing hands. Like it was a huge thing, and like just the emotion of like when they're in that conference room, like when they find Overhaul and they're breaking down what he's doing, how he's using this girl Eri to his advantage and all this, and seeing like all the heroes get upset, ticked off, and like so emotional resonated with me. And it's like when the episode where they storm and it's like go, and it's like, all right, let's do this thing, and so, but because Gentle Criminal puts a bad taste in my mouth, I have to put it a B tier, only because it was only 11 episodes where the Overhaul arc was 14. It was the majority of the season, so that saves it from being lower, but it's a B tier for me.
Yeah, I would agree. It soars high, but it definitely goes down because of the second half of the season and everything. But for me, I think the thing that I really enjoyed was getting to see all the new heroes.
For sure.
In this.
Fat Gum.
Yeah, Fat Gum. Love Fat Gum. Tokiomi, like seeing him kind of come more into his own and everything.
Kirishima too. Like that whole combo fight with Fat Gum and Kirishima was massive.
It like just seeing all of that happening was really, really cool. Mr. Compress, I like him. We get more of him later on and everything, but and then Sir Night Eye.
Oh yes.
Sir Night Eye. Like I did not like him at all at the beginning of the season. I'm just like, this dude, like, and then you find out more and more of why he's acting that way. The writing is the first half, season 4, amazing.
Yes.
But the second half, not that great. Now, with season 2 and 4 here, which one do you think is better in the B tier?
Oh, like pound for pound, season 2 is better, but that Overhaul story, man, just like to me, it outdoes both of them for me. So I would almost put season 4 ahead, but again, you have to look at the whole body of work, not just one part. So I would have to give a slight edge to season 2.
Yeah. That second arc really hurts it. And
it's arguably the weakest arc in the entire show.
Yeah, and we both know that it's part of the manga and everything. It's part of the actual story. It's not filler, but it really weakens it. All right.
Yeah.
Season 5. Oh, we get into it now.
I know. This is typical shonen, where the later you get into it, the better the storytelling gets. And while nothing, and hear me out before you judge me, while nothing super significant like amazing fights or anything like that happen, well, I take that back, happens for the majority of the show, we get so much buildup. Like you're seeing like the tournament between 1A and 1B and how far class 1B has advanced in their powers. And you see Phantom Thief, and then you see, Shinjo, like he's arguably the star of that first arc. And you see, like when you see all of a sudden, like you hear like it just like they're fighting in his, because he's they make it an odd number, so he has to fight on both teams. So because he wants to join the hero course, and all of a sudden you hear a voice say stop, and then you see him freeze. I'm like, oh, he's got a new toy. It's so fun. And then you see the Endeavor Agency arc where they're doing not internships but work studies,
Yep.
and you see the bit like, yes, like they have their own drama with the Todoroki family, and then but then you see the build up, like Hawks drops him off a book because Hawks is doing recon, and when you read it, like I got chills because when he's reading it, like the certain excerpts, I'm like, oh, because I love me a good war arc, man. Like, yeah, it's so great, and like seeing the build up, I'm like, oh, buddy, we in for it next season, and then to end it with pretty much the League, like doing a whole like 3-4 episodes revolving around the League of Villains and seeing that they're just not sitting on their laurels, their 5-gallon bucket, as you would say, and they're getting strong, like they're thrust into it. But all of a sudden, you see this new villain group come into like Destro in his group, and you see them force them in, and like the way they're super stressed to the breaking point, especially after fighting Gigantomachia and pushing past and finding new limits to their powers. They went beyond plus ultra in their own sense, and it's just like, man, like they're leveling up. The heroes are leveling up. Like, what is happening? And not to mention, like Deku finds out something about his quirk that happens in these matches with Class 1B. So because of all that setup, like for me, because of how like great the next season is, because the buildup is so great, I have to put it at A.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with you because like the Meta Liberation Army arc that's within this is really, really good, especially like the League fighting the Meta Liberation Army. Like that was so crazy. And then seeing Shigaraki like because of those fights and everything, like being able to just
flip like twice, like Toga, not so much. She was just pushed to the brink, but seeing her power evolve, and then twice, and Shigaraki's mental trauma from what they and their abusive upbringings, like that, and that forced them to upgrade their powers, or for Shigaraki, let down a barrier that he pretty much put up for himself, was insane to see.
Yeah, and seeing all of that backstory, like for all, like the writing is so good here, and like the Meta Liberation Army, it was kind of just a it's like the Ginyu Force. It was to get them to the next level, to be able to be, you know, and beef up the amount of people within the league and everything, because that goes into the next season. But man, it's such a good season. And again, with all the Endeavor family, the Todoroki family, all of that drama being put there, so good. And Hawk, like seeing him, because is this the season that they have like the rankings and Endeavor becomes number
that's
one?
the end of season 4.
Okay, so he's number 1 at this point and everything, and Hawk's number 2, right? Yeah. And then this isn't is this the season where Endeavor like just goes crazy on that Nomu?
Well, that's also at the end of season 4.
My God, there's season 4 is almost, I'm putting back up here. You know what I mean?
Well, 2 episodes does not save the latter half of that season.
True. But really, really good. So season 5, I would agree with you. 8 tier.
Yeah.
All right. Last season that we've gotten so far, season 6. So good, Derek. Lay the foundation, put it down. But let's go. Go plus ultra, my friend.
You already know where it's going to rank for me, because this is because again, season 3 was my most favorite for the longest time, and then season 6 happens. Like we get the build up in season 5 toward the end, and then season 6 happens, and they just let the floodgates open. And my God, like it almost starts off just as crazy as like the Shibuya incident in Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. Like it just from the jump, you just get in there and just, you know, stuff happens. But man, it starts off really well. It is, majority of the season, and then we get followed up by the Dark Hero arc in the second one, which just adds more to the fire. And like just like seeing, but the war is like the pretty much center stage, like the pretty much main event of the season, and it delivers. Like it starts off really well, but then once you get to Shigaraki comes in, and then it just is like, Like stuff just happens. Endeavor goes crazy. Like Aizawa, like his thinking behind like what like
The
planning around
water.
how to stop. Yes, stop and how to stop Shigaraki. Shigaraki trying to stop take out Aizawa, and Aizawa like a boss just going.
Like I was like, oh my god, oh my god.
Like that was such that like 10 seconds was such a roller coaster of emotions because you're like, no man, not Aizawa. Then you see it, you're like, oh man, this dude's a baller. Like,
Don't even blink either. He just doesn't even blink.
He stands on business for sure.
Yeah.
But and then you see like the struggle inside Shigaraki, like all for one trying to like take over. Like, yes, he's grooming him to take over, but he's also grooming Shigaraki to be like his next host, essentially.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And then you see the internal struggle like Deku has with all the other people in One for All. And then but you see that come to fruition in Dark Hero. Like he's pretty much able to use just about every ability in the Dark Hero arc. And then you see, because of all that happened, all the destruction, all the death that you saw, and you see that weigh heavily on him, and then One for All is, or All for One is just like push him a little bit more, push him, like it's like Sukuna with Yuji, push him a little bit more, and then all the prisoners get out, and you from Tartarus. And you see Deku on a mission, a one-man mission. Like, yeah, he has people surrounding him, but he doesn't want to get him involved. And you see him going on what to stop everyone in the league and like all of All for One's henchmen in trying to find him and Shigaraki. And then the emotional moment when his classmates are like, Deku, come home. Like, I cried, man. Like, that whole thing, like what Uraraka, Bakugo, like every one of them said to them. And then like when they're at the school, like all the people they've, sheltered and whatnot, basically like, you know what? We have to stand behind you on this. Like, we're going to get behind you. It was just so heartwarming. It was just an emotional roller coaster. Not to mention like, and I think it's episode 2, we see a new hero, Mirko, bust into the lab and is like, that's another instance of like, you see the leg get twisted and she's like, I'm still going to kick you. Like, bro, like, I don't care. Like, I don't care how strong your Nomu are. I'm still going to beat him. So just all the emotional moments you see, and then to see it spiral into the Dark Hero arc was just so crazy. So for that reason, it's got to be S tier. Like, call it recency bias, call it what you will. It's S tier.
Well, and it's like, again, you see everybody that has leveled up because of the training that they've done over and over, you're
finally starting to see it pay off.
Yeah, and like when the heroes attack the compound and everything, and you see Class 1A, I think is Denki.
He's like, just like takes out all the generals, and then like that one lightning absorber, he's like, nah, bro, you ain't about to shock my people.
Yeah, and it's like getting to see all of that, and like everybody is doing their part. It's not just,
Class 1A, or like the kids stand by the sidelines in case something happens.
Yeah, and the Twice and Hawk thing, because they become friends. It was, oh my god,
brother. Oh, like Twice really thought of him as a best friend, and then when Hawk said, and you see it, like Hawks didn't want to do it, but at the same time he had a mission. He's like, I can't let you do this either. But just just for it to happen the way it did was still heart-wrenching. And then Dobby got his revenge.
Yeah.
And then not to mention Dobby stole the show like later on when he's just like, I got a big reveal and it involves Endeavor. And then seeing how that happened, like all that culminated to where Dobby became, like that was so good too.
Yeah, like the Dobby stuff just I can't wait to see where that goes in the new season, because it was like at the very tail end of this season.
Right.
But Lady Midnight as well. Like,
oh my gosh. Like, you were holding out hope, and then
yeah. Like, this season is amazing. The thing that I always go back to is the end of the season. All Might is at the statue.
Oh yes, that part.
And the lady is like cleaning the statue and everything, and he's watching, and you hear something, and Stain shows up.
Yeah.
And that conversation is
Yes.
just
Because
it puts you on a whole like different level, in my
it
opinion.
does. And you think that Stain doesn't think that, All Might is All Might, but then you're listening to it, you're watching it play out, and it's like, oh, he's trying to get the most out of you in this one, in this instance. And I'm like, okay, I see you. So maybe we'll call Stain an anti-hero. We're not going to say he's a villain anymore, but we're going to say he's an anti-hero.
Yeah. And he's only wanted All Might to kill him. Like,
true.
That's
only All Might is worthy.
Only All Might is worthy, and it's like if that moment right there was just, and it's raining and so good. I'm so ready for the new season to pick up and see where we go from there. But so many good things. We could talk it to death, but it's definitely S tier, and it's better than season 3 in my opinion as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Like top pound for pound, top to bottom, it is better. Because again, while the hero provisional license is good, compared to the second arc with the Dark Hero, brother, doesn't hold a candle. Sorry.
Yeah, the prison escape stuff, and then the Lady Nagant or whatever.
Lady Nagant, yes.
Yeah, Nagant. Like that whole thing, and Deku like really starting to understand like the different power variations that he needs to do to use his power.
Combos
it's gonna be like season 7 is gonna be so awesome. Guys, let us know, what is your tier list? We'll rank we'll put this in the description. You can rank it as well and share it with us. I'm curious, where does yours all fit? Season 6 reigning champion right now. But
yes,
we got a hopefully a banger coming our way for season 7. We'll see.
Only time will tell.
All right, guys. This has been Zach
and Derek.
Blessed week. Bye.